Good afternoon. We're running just a bit late here. Looks like about 2 minutes after 2. Welcome to the Plant and Equipment Committee Meeting, 3rd of September. Man, where's this year going? Our call. Let's see. Do we have any public or committee comments? Seeing none, we'll go to item number 3, the GIS system staff update, please.
So the district contracted with Nobel Systems. It was implemented in the beginning of August officially. Since that time, they have been nothing but responsive, and all the staff is very pleased with how the system is running. We will have a complete presentation at the board meeting under the operations portion to show you exactly what it looks like and how the staff interacts with it.
Can you give some history as to why we did this? I mean, there were some serious, we had a GIS system. Why don't you go in and talk? I think engineering and operations can both sort of weigh in on some of the reasons we changed.
We had a GIS system which was founded on ArcGIS, which is industry standard. However, the consultant that was chosen to provide the front-end interface for that was failing to make changes and deliver items requested in a reasonable amount of time. And I'm talking years. So staff looked at other avenues, which included other ArcGIS backed products, as well as Nobel approached us with their Google Map backed GIS system. And just based on cost analysis and the fact that we don't necessarily interface with other agencies like bigger cities do, it made more sense for us to save the dollars and to go with this system, which everyone I spoke to in regard before we chose them spoke nothing but praise about them and how fast they responded. And so the changes that we've made and errors that we found so far in the system as it pertains to our GIS system, they fix inside the day. So it is complete night and day overhaul of our old system. So I look forward to showing you everybody on Monday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look forward to it myself. How often do our staff interact with this? And
It used to be as little as possible because it was nothing but frustrating. Now it's a daily activity and all day long. So as they're working, they're putting in parts, they're doing all the work orders on the GIS system.
So you're seeing a productivity
enhancement? 100%, yes.
Yeah, nice.
And I want to compliment the staff. I think there were 3 or 4 meetings where they brought the new prospective vendor, and I think they brought the old vendor in to showcase what they could do. They brought in all the mechanics. It was a very inclusive process. Everybody got to see, everybody got to vote. I thought the staff did a great job of both vetting the vendors that were out there, bringing people in, walking through it. And I believe there's some significantly increased efficiencies that we're seeing in the processing work orders and how quickly we can get things done, and just simple things like updating our system, when we install a new pipe or something. So
Awesome.
I was super impressed with the staff's work on this.
One of the things I'm very much looking forward to showing the board is on this new system, the way the inventory is handled, we're able to do a cost analysis on every project. So I can tell you exactly what it costs to replace all the service laterals on whatever street we're working on. So very intuitive, very, very friendly.
Nice.
Do you by any chance know what system that Rambo is using in all their studies?
I do not know what I believe they're ArcGIS based. I do not know what the system or who wrote the front end software for them. I know that they're getting data from us and integrating it into their system, but I don't know who they're using.
Okay, I guess I was just trying to look ahead. If we become the water master for the adjudication, then it would be nice for us to be able to assume all of the work that Rambo's already done. I got to believe that they're using some kind of a GIS system.
Yeah, I think there's some interoperability that's built into the system. You can take Esri files and import them into the GIS system we're using, and vice versa. They're actually pretty easy. That's how we first put in the system, right? We actually pulled the files directly out of our Esri system and dropped them straight over into this system. It was fairly seamless. Is that correct?
Okay, and
Yeah.
have you by any chance talked with Krieger and Stewart
About what?
about what they use and if they're familiar with what we're buying?
I think Krieger and Stewart uses paper and pencil.
No,
I'm just kidding.
what they do for us that might be ArcGIS centered is the hydraulic model. So we haven't had any issues with that at this point,
Okay,
but
thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that. I look forward to the detailed brief on Monday. Northwest Transmission Pipeline.
okay. So Nicholas Construction continues to work out there. They're running 2 crews. Crew 1 is working on Victor Street, which is kind of the new work that was added to their plate, connecting their under the highway and up to well 30. And there's crew number 2, they call it, is continuing with installation of the actual pipeline, the new pipeline up to Jack's Ranch Road. They expect to be crossing under Jack's Ranch Road next week and plan to fill and hydro test from Victor to Pinto Street. So moving on as expected.
It's kind of awesome to watch. I get to see it a couple times a day. I'm a little curious about are all the segments that are currently buried, are those fused as well before they, or are they just coupled together, or how's that work?
Most of it is bell and spigot.
Yeah,
There's
Oh,
just
okay.
a,
typical bell and spigot is what.
yeah, there's
is
just a
being
couple
used.
that, there's a couple areas, underneath the naval gate that turn right there and underneath the highway are fused.
Okay, I
Mhm.
noticed there's a long section of,
Yeah.
section of fuse now. Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
anywhere where they have to cross under that, they're using fused pipe there.
Yeah. Huh.
Mhm.
I could see where it would be easier to do it short pieces at a time, but does it involve any degradation in the performance of the pipe when you fuse it? Does it,
No,
it's not thinner or?
no, no.
According to all the data that we researched on it, the fuse pipe actually performs better
Mhm.
than the bell and spigot pipe in the long term. But it's more expensive.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is more expensive.
Okay.
What is the contractual date of completion?
End of December.
End of December?
Mhm.
And I assume we're gonna, based upon what I've seen, we ought to make that no sweat. Is that correct?
We should not have any issue making that, yes. Unless something comes up, knock on wood, right?
Yeah, they seem to be making great progress.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
making
it
great
looks-
progress.
It looks, yeah, great. What about, is there anything going on with the other pipeline effort?
What, Springer?
Springer, yeah.
No, not at this point, no.
Yeah, we think Springer will probably be pushed off till the next fiscal year. Is that correct, Ty? So we're sort of, we want to get through this, make sure we don't have cost overruns, make sure we're good with our budget, and then we'll move on to Springer once we're more certain of where our budget's going to end up. So I think it's a prudent path to take, I
Okay,
think.
but we did borrow enough money
Yes,
such that if we
Assuming all goes well, yes.
have any glitches, we'll have enough money for Springer.
Yeah, we just don't want to,
No, I understand, and
Yeah.
I
Towards
totally concur, yeah.
the tail end of this project, we'll start potholing the Springer line, and so that we can have the most up-to-date information available to give to Krieger and Stewart to finish the design process for Springer.
Awesome.
Okay, well, we gotta have something to do next year.
Great.
oh, we'll have plenty to do.
plenty to do, yes.
Water system consolidation.
Okay, so as you kind of see, I kind of changed the title on this instead of just Dune 3 in hometown because there is that possibility with other consolidations. But for Dune 3 in hometown, the last update I got a week ago was that the funding agreements for both of those are being reviewed by the Department of Financial Assistance. Then they were going to be moving on to the legal department for review and approval. And then there were like 3 other signatures they had to get after that. So our contact there was expecting a couple more weeks, and then we'll have both of those be able to go to George for signature.
Awesome.
Are there anything, I think there are things we're bringing to the board this next meeting, is that correct? Or I know there's stuff that they want to take to the GA board for approval. Do we have anything for our board for approval on like?
You will have, I don't believe that is going to happen from my discussion with Jim this morning.
Okay, because there
Don't
was sort
think
of
it'll be ready.
there was an agreement that needed to be approved that was the
That-
cost.
Yeah, that's with
Reimbursement.
Rademacher. That's the
Okay.
Rademacher one. So, yeah. That is the agreement between the district and the GA for the reimbursement. But it still has to be approved by the GA's attorney, and it didn't sound like he was gonna have a chance to do that before our board agenda and everything was to go out in our board packet, so.
And that work got pushed off due to some concerns we had with Springer Pipeline and tapping into that. And, we wanted to do it at I believe we've talked about this. We're not going to do it until
Till the
probably
winter.
December timeframe so that we have least risk to our system when we go ahead and tap into that pipeline. So there's a lot of things. They have notice of exemption and other permits to get and
Yeah.
easements. And they're trying to design a phase 2 to that extends it around so they can capture everybody on the Rademacher well. They're fair amount of work, but there will be some things coming to you for approval. The GA, I know they're rushing to get the stuff to their board for approval.
Yeah,
We'll see if it gets there.
the notice of exemption will be on the agenda
For the GA?
and for us
And
too.
for us, okay.
Yes.
There's a fair amount of press about some of the residents in the Rademacher area that were having very low quality, if not
Oh,
hazardous
yeah.
water.
Yeah.
Are we doing anything heroic to try to help them, or how's that?
I would say we are stepping up in a big way. So we, the whole contracting process to get that done, we've decided that we can do the work in-house. So what's happening is we're crafting an agreement so that the GA's consolidation funds can be used by us to pay for it. There were a lot of little issues, like one of the things, I guess their initial grant couldn't pay for the connection from the street or from
From the meter.
the meter
To
to
the
the
home.
house, so they're searching for funds to do that. So there's little bugs like that are being worked out and the negotiation between us and cost reimbursement. We want to make sure that it doesn't cost our customers and we violate any rules there. So a lot of little detail things that are being worked out, but I think we've stepped up in a big way. I think it's going to get done.
It's gonna get done more quickly.
It's
that
going to
way.
get done more quickly than probably any other route. And it's another good example of us trying to work with the GA and do what we can and, to the benefit of the people of the valley as best we can.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
important. Thank you.
Great. Do you by chance know what the cutoff date is on those that state grant in terms of, they have to have, my understanding is they have to have a plan in place by a certain date or give the money back?
Yeah, I think, I do not know. I mean, I can ask at next week's GA meeting and see if I can get a handle on that. I know they have a few years to get that money expensed, but I don't know the exact timeframe. I'll try
Well,
to
I
get
think
that.
originally they had either 2 or 3 years, but it's
Yeah.
been a while now since they've had that money.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that for you, Stan. Take a note.
Okay. Well, we just don't want to see it go away.
Yep,
I don't, yeah, I don't think that.
and I think
that'll
they're
be an
tracking
issue.
that pretty well. They're pretty.
They're
good
in
about that.
contact with the grant funding and administrator. One more update was the possible being assigned the administrator for in your current CSD. So I'm working on that statement of qualifications and getting that done. So
Okay,
working
good.
on that.
Well, I think everybody probably read in the Daily Independent where Kern is, it looks like stepping up to try to solve their own problems at this point in time.
They are, and
Well, they certainly raised their prices significantly, and so,
Yeah.
I mean, seems like they've got a good attitude.
yeah, so just to be clear, they're working on there was some concern raised by that newspaper article that they didn't follow the 218 process and give the proper notification. They're still in the 45-day waiting period, so they sort of noticed that they're going to do stuff. They're trying to get it done correctly. I think they owed some responses to the state on the corrective actions that they were given probably this week. I think they owed them that this week. But yeah, I believe they're making a good faith effort. I will say that we were out there again this weekend, correct, Jason?
Yep.
For a
And
couple of
the
reasons.
Responses were due, yeah. As the responses were due Saturday, the 31st.
Yeah, and so we continue to bill them, and I assume they continue to pay. Is that correct, Ty?
We bill them.
Okay, so, and I know that they're sending our bills to that self-help program that's supposed to be
Yeah.
reimbursing us. And so
Yeah.
we still believe that we're going to get paid for the work that we're doing. So we're keeping track of those expenditures and invoicing them properly so that, but, we continue to try to be good neighbors. They had a couple of places that had
Well,
issues.
They have a big job, the state let them get really far in the hole before they started doing their job. So it doesn't surprise me that it's going to take them a little bit more time than the state allowed, but at least it looks like they've got a really good attitude
Yeah,
at this
they're-
point.
you know, we wish them the best, and there's a lot to be done out there.
Okay. Thank you for that. Arsonite treatment facilities. I assume that's you, Jason?
That is me. Plant 1 is online. Both 11 and 13 are operational. Had a hiccup with one of the analyzers out there this weekend, but other than that, the plant has run rather flawlessly.
Okay.
They analyzed plant 2, looked at the meter. It looked like we were having some trouble with it. Did some work on the backwash waste tank, and it may not have been the meter, may have been some other issues. So still need to do some more running on it to verify, but as of right now, it looks like that plant could maybe back online as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Good news. Future agenda items. Anything you'd like to be considered? Stan?
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is the right committee or not, but I've been reading a lot of documents lately, both ours and the GAs, and I'm coming to the conclusion that, you know, we've been talking about drilling new monitoring wells for 2 or 3 years. And I think everything is coming home to rest on us at this point in time. And it's too bad that we haven't done something about that, because we're in a situation where we really need more monitoring wells. So I guess my feeling is we need to have Tim Parker identify locations for, you know, if we had the money, how would he prioritize the locations of monitoring wells? And then let's go out and try to find some money, because I see a real problem coming up regarding the lack of monitoring wells. And I passed some of that on to you.
I did get it. I think I'll remain silent on this. I think that's still part of the adjudication sort of coverage, so I'll just leave that one be for right now.
I will tell you what I have still on the list that we're just keeping track of. Next month, I'm going to bring back the lead service line inventory update because it is due in October. I have on here Springer Avenue pipeline, of course. The La Mirage housing area grant funding. Just a reminder that once we do our consolidation grants, then some other money, pots of money become available to us from the state that we can apply for to use in that area. And then there's the inspections of other transmission pipelines. So those are still on our list.
Thank you for carrying this forward for us.
Yeah.
Oh,
Renee's
this is-
extra busy. I assume you're working on was that the administrator sort of application as well, just in case the state calls on us, so. Renee is extra busy.
I was gonna say, you expanding Renee's title to be corporate memory as well, or?
We're gonna call her engineer 1 and 2.
Okay, that's probably a good thing.
No, we're also collecting samples around town right now for lead and copper. Every 3 years, we do our lead and copper sampling around town too. So Justin and I are in the midst of that also. Has to be done by the end of the month.
Yeah,
Awesome. We look forward to a report on that.
okay.
Thank you very much. Staff, thank you for everything. And we'll call the meeting adjourned at 2:22, it looks like. And welcome back, Vice President.
Yeah.